Hello everyone, welcome on this panel. We speak during 40 minutes about smart buildings. I'm Thomas Pagbé and I'm editor of the magazine IT for Business. So today to speak, we have a wonderful panel. We have first Cyril Perducat. Cyril is a Schneider Electric global leader of IoT and digital offers. Cyril has spent 25 years with Schneider as a global executive, strategist, technologist, and business innovator. Secondly, we have Patrick Fichot. Good afternoon. Patrick has 20 years of experience leading some key accounts companies such as Nokia and Renault before becoming the CEO and co-founder of Edge Experience. We'll speak about this company in a few minutes. His startup is a leading smart building software known as Smatic, enabling building experts to better manage their operational costs. And last but not least, we have Annick Villeneuve. Annick, good afternoon.
Thank you.
Annick has over 25 years of experience in high tech. She successfully helped customers with their business transformation. She's the global leader of a passionate team dedicated to solving customer challenges in the real estate and commercial building markets. So, on average, today, people spend more than 90% of their lives in building, office building, school and hospitals and homes. Building represents a large capital expense for businesses, second only to salaries paid employees. It's no surprise that property owners and managers are constantly seeking new ways to make buildings more efficient, sustainable, safer and more comfortable. Most buildings have some level of intelligence built in, whether HVAC, lighting or fire safety. But today, it's possible to get much more data from building and ultimately make better decisions. But how do you trust the cars into the smart building sphere? Through breaking down silos and reducing over complexity in the building supply chain ecosystems. From commercial real estate owners to designers or to system integrators to its occupant, we all striving to be smarter, faster and intuitive. Here's the current landscape. More than 29% of energy consumptions come from buildings. It emits more than 40% of carbon, and then you have massive impact on climate. There's also massive inefficiency. A study of 2012 revealed that 80% of economic potential in building remains untapped, and since there has been no progress. So different industries such like lodging, with companies like Airbnb, industries contribute to decrease the occupancy level in offices. So how is digital helping to connect and collaborate and create economic value? So we'll try to answer all those questions, and just before we start, I would like to remind you that you can ask questions directly through the chat, and we'll ask them. We'll try to answer to these questions at the end of the chat. So let's get started with Annick first. How can we accelerate the digital transformation of buildings in a digital ecosystem?
Thanks, Thomas, for this question and to have the opportunity to launch this Facebook Live. Just to give you a context of the global market and the challenge we are facing. 75% of all the building we will need in 2050, so 50, are already here, are already existing. 75%. And Schneider Electric is a global supplier, and we consider that we estimate, without arrogance, that we have a presence in this portfolio of existing building around 70%. So the challenge that Schneider Electric have, and the challenge we have collectively, is to address this existing portfolio and to make it up to achieve the needs of the future of the market that we expect in the next 30 years. So we need to address this, and we need to be sure that we will define correctly the future. So, for our point of view, there is two main things regarding the future of the building. The first one, I would like to say, is this demand best-in-class experience that we need to have in the building. And today, it's a higher best-in-class experience needs. Occupants are looking for amazing experience when they arrive in a commercial building, and also they are expecting new services. Services who already exist, but also new services that are not already existing right now, but will exist in the future, and the building was already built and available. The second big trend we see, you already addressed this part in your introduction, is the huge own of the industry and the challenge we have regarding energy. How we will be able in the future to reduce energy consumption in a building and to optimize energy. So on these two aspects, with the team and globally in Schneider Electric, we are really confident to address these challenges, and I would like to say through innovation, digital innovation, no choice. And when we talked about innovation in Schneider Electric, we address in two angles. The first one is internal innovation, so we invest every year over 1 billion euro on R&D, but external innovation. The market and the needs of our customer are not a close and a context where you will have only one provider. So external innovation means co-innovation and capability to interact with an ecosystem. So it's globally the context that we see today and the way that we want to address.
Okay. Cyril, could you elaborate please a bit more on digitization in making building better and smarter?
Yeah, when we look at the environment of building in the context that Annick was describing, either we can start on new buildings, and yes, of course, new buildings, we can equip those buildings with a lot of technology, with a converged building management platform like Schneider Electric Infrastructure Building Operations. We can add sensors, we can add a lot of things in new building, but we need to be able also to do the same to those 75% of the installed base of buildings that are already here and that need to be modernized in order to be able to tackle the opportunity of efficiency, comfort improvement, energy savings that exist in those buildings. So, as I said, we can start with a converged platform, like our platform. We can add sensors. Ultimately, a building today is very complex, has a lot of sources of information. They could be real-time information in the facilities, they could be design information that exists in other systems, they could be environmental information, what's the weather right now, what is going to be tomorrow, how does this impact the dynamic regulation of the HVAC system. So ultimately it's about data. It's about how do we transform data into insights, and those insights into different business scenarios to improve efficiency, to reduce environmental impact, to improve comfort of the users, to optimize occupancy. But it's a large, complex, very distributed market that is also very local, that has a lot of local habits, practice, specific context. So Schneider Electric is willing to expand its reach with an ecosystem, and this point that Annick mentioned on open innovation is very important to us. This ability to create, like we have done with Schneider Electric Exchange, an open business platform allows us to extend our capabilities and help our partners extend our capabilities. If I take two examples of that we have today on the market, I think fundamentally, let me take one, for example, Fujitsu. So Fujitsu is a large company that also operates in the facility management space, and was recently working with one of their large retail customers, operating in 5,000 sites in 63 countries. It's very difficult for Fujitsu to be everywhere, anywhere, in every context. Being able to leverage Exchange in order to tap onto the ecosystem of Schneider Electric and the EcoExpert to extend this capability with a network of experts is very important for them to deliver their value proposal to their customer. Or if you look at on another example with a company that is one of our partners in Exchange, which is Predictive Layer, a Swiss-based company, the ability to develop more sophisticated algorithms based on data in the field of optimization of energy is something also that expand the capabilities we are able to offer to our customers. And there are dozens of examples like this of scenarios that we can develop by augmenting the capabilities in the building, not only with technology, but with companies, people, and expertise that allows to extract from this technology a maximum business value.
Thank you. Patrick, could you explain us what is the main mission of Patch Experience, and can you explain us how you leverage data to make buildings smarter?
Sure. So let me explain you what we do at Patch Experience. Actually, we are a software editor. We're making SMATI, as you said at the beginning, which is a complete solution for smart building, which is focused on 4 main areas. The first one is the maintenance, where we connect all the critical equipment in the building, like HVAC equipment, boilers, and so on. The second area is the energy and water, so to reduce carbon footprint and to reduce also the water consumption in the buildings. The third one is the space usage, so our customers try to increase the usage of the building, try to increase from 55% to 75%, which is quite a big challenge also, and technology is helping that as well. And finally, we try to monitor the comfort inside the buildings, like with CO2 measurement, humidity, and this kind of really important things. So the first step is really for our customers to connect the building, to monitor the equipment remotely instead of going on site every time. The second step is managing the building. So through KPIs, they can really fill in the tool. They can really track that and track the usages, which is really important for them at the moment. And finally, the last step, as soon as we have enough data from the building, we can innovate through, I would say, predictive-based services like predictive maintenance or predict the usages within the buildings. So when you look at that, you can imagine how important all the data is for customers and also for facilities, critical facilities like hospitals, for instance, is really, really important.
And what is the value of all those data for building owners?
Well, it's going, of course, stronger and stronger. So basically, the first one is for them to making sure that the carbon footprint is really controlled. So giving them more value for their building first. The second one is to monitor the risk much better, because when you are able to track what's happening on the equipment, you can avoid breakdown. So that's really key for them. The third one is to monitor and track the usages within the building, which gives them the opportunity to know precisely how their customer use their buildings, and of course to innovate on top. With new predictive-based services, which are extremely important for giving them more value. And we estimate today that the value of the building is not only the location anymore. It's more and more services which can be offered with the building. So we estimate today, and that's written in many studies, that up to 20-25% of the total value of the building are coming from, I would say, intangible assets, like services. So that's really key for them in the future. And SMATI helping them in this area by making connection between the equipment, we can cross data and so on. But also, and we can see this kind of requests coming more and more, interconnecting the services that are existing already. So that's key for, let's say, different people working in the building. So it could be facility manager, property manager, asset manager themselves, but also for occupants. occupants, they are always demanding more and more services, and interconnecting those services make the possibility much higher for promoting new services for occupants.
In this landscape, Cyril, can you explain what is the role of Schneider Electric Exchange, so the company open business platform, and how it enable these capabilities around data?
Yeah, so before I move directly to Exchange, maybe to make a bridge with what Patrick was mentioning, I think when you describe this context of data, those are very complex scenarios.
Yeah.
Because there is a relationship. I want to make my building more comfortable, but I want to optimize space occupancy. I want to reduce my energy cost, but I want to improve comfort at the same time. So there are contradictions between all those different scenarios, and in order to resolve those contradictions in a satisfactory way, you need a lot of expertise, you need a lot of science in order to be able to deliver this. And this context is very specific to each building, each company objective, each customer. So this ability, and their own strategy and their own priorities and their own goals. Some companies will be very focused on maintaining the lead status of their building. Some others have a huge retention issue for their employees and want to put comfort as a very important element of differentiation. So this ability to adjust to every specific local situation and context is very important. This is why we believe in co-innovation and in open innovation, and we created Schneider Electric Exchange with that goal to be able to extend our ecosystem with this different set of expertise and partners that are important on all the value chain. Not just the operation of the building, but really going from the design of the building to the operation of the building. If I am a designer and I get more data that come from real building operations, I'm able to improve the design of my building. If I am in an operation context and I have better, more accurate, more granular data about all the different facets of the design of the building, I can do a better operation management. So really Schneider Electric Exchange is about creating an open business platform, an open innovation ecosystem that allows us to bring different players from all the different elements of the value chain across the landscape of the business verticals of Schneider Electric, including building, which is a very significant part of our business. And focus this community on solving real business problems, which I think is one of the elements of differentiation and innovation in Exchange. Not just pushing technology to everybody, not just debating what is the best sensor or what is the best network technology, but really start from a business perspective. What is my business scenario? Why do I want to improve? What business problem do I face as Schneider Electric or as a partner that I want to be able to improve, and where do I find the people, the expertise, the technology that can solve my problem by augmenting my solution. So I guess you were describing the context of your company that find in Exchange new business opportunities, that find pieces of technology or data sets that help you design better software. This is an example among many scenarios. I was speaking about Fujitsu and predictive layer as customer examples. We believe in this open business innovation context that if we drive innovation not as a Schneider Electric silo, but as enriching the ecosystem globally, everybody wins. All our different partners win because they win, they can develop further, they can augment their expertise, and ultimately we can collectively address our customers with a better impact.
Annick, how does this approach benefit building and owners, real estate stakeholders?
A lot of benefit, but if I will have to choose some example, let's start with the building owners. We see that a lot of pressure on the market, so they need to innovate, they need to increase the value of their assets because they are in business, we never forget that, everybody. And they need also to avoid vacancy. They need to have each time, as soon as possible, occupancy. And what you mentioned also about the location and services with the value of an asset, 6 years ago, a customer started in introduction, a big real estate regional European customer, by saying it's location before it was location the value of the building, and now it's location plus connection. So linked to this vision and strategy, the role of Schneider and through the exchange platform is to unlock the data available in the building, because there is a lot of data, and the data, the value is a gold mine for everybody. For the customer, it's key. So unlock the data and give the opportunity to expose in the structured manner this data to develop services or to better understand and anticipate in a predictive mode different services. The last point for a building owner is the time to market. They need to speed because competition is high and also the demand is accelerating more and more. So regarding the time to market, and as soon as we agreed about all these fantastic services we need to develop and all the understanding of this data, you have another famous space, the name is PropTech. So in the real estate industry, I would like to say CRE, PropTech, CRE startup, whatever. And just for example, 1 month ago I was in a conference in New York, and only for one forum there was more than 3,000 PropTech attending this forum and this event. So for our customer, who needs to define his vision, his strategy, and to develop and to implement the best-in-class solution, it's a huge challenge. Who are the PropTech who will be able to be providing the right solution? And it's not only one company, we already talked about the famous ecosystem, with consistency, scalability, and with a secure manner. So if I can answer your question about how I see the benefit of exchange for our customer, I would like to say it's providing very fast and structured and solid, robust ecosystem to support part of his strategy. Without arrogance, we don't say full strategy, but part of this strategy. So Schneider plus the ecosystem. And to avoid all volatility or unsecure or non-scalable solution, we will be potentially, as you mentioned, Cyril, top in class for the moment, but not consistent in the journey. And last but not least, most of our customers are implementing a strategy all over the globe. So exchange gives us also the opportunity for us and for our ecosystem to find key partner in some strategic country or region, because the market maturity is not the same, the go-to-market is not the same, so it's a speed up also to for a partner or for us to accelerate in the market. On the global real estate stakeholders, you also mentioned that there is different key strategic players, so the designer, the architect, the consultant company, the general contractor. So each company has a key role in the full value chain. But with the IoT, with the digitalization, we saw that they are doing also their own digital transformation. So exchange can help us to accelerate their understanding, knowledge, and connection and acceleration of their future business too. So it will be my two comments around this.
So I wanted to know if the customers you're talking with, the building owners and real estate stakeholders
asset
and
manager,
investors,
service provider,
do they realize how much having having services in their buildings and services in their strategy, do they realize how much it's important for tomorrow?
Yes. We don't. Our challenge is not to convince them. It's a fact, and all the data.
They know that already.
They know that already. Now we are discussing and interacting with them about the roadmap of the services they want to implement, when, how, for which challenge of which pain point to address. Because when you arrive, it's historically a big change in this industry, so they need to prioritize based on their global strategy of their company. You have global leader, you have regional leader, you have local leader, you have multiple different business case. So our role on a consultative sales approach is to help them to facilitate their understanding and also to facilitate the way that they will identify key strategic players. Us, I hope, but not only us, through an open ecosystem.
And you mentioned this point on, so you work with business owners that have a very clearly articulated business strategy. I think where we can help them as a company and help them with our ecosystem is how do we operationalize this strategy. You were referring to PropTech and the amount of ventures that are existing in that space. If I am a building owner or if I'm a real estate developer, how do I cut through the chase? How do I find which one are valuable in my context? So could we have in exchange peer recommendation? I go onto a forum and I say, well, I found those 3 companies in my country. Is any of you have already tried? And what do you think about their solution? Or those PropTech companies that we want to invite in exchange, how do we help them for the last mile? They might have a very nice piece of software, but how do you install? How do you put the simple gateway that is necessary to extract the data or the API that will do the same thing? So this is important for us as a company, as a leader in that field, not only to deliver our value proposal, but to also help our ecosystem develop digitally and maintain this competitive advantage that we want to bring to our customers.
And when we talk about open platform, it's also be more open as a company to be able to interact and to work and to co-innovate with all other key players. It's key. And the mission of my team is interacting with strategic customer, and the objective is to become a technology partnership, a digital partner, ideally both, but during their own journey and their own digital transformation challenges with our ecosystem.
Patrick, what is the benefit of Schneider Electric Exchange from your perspective?
Basically, I see 3 main benefits. The first one for us, we start selling our solution abroad, and we have to find the right partners, so that's key. The right partner means that those partners have to understand the value proposition first, are able to sell them to their final customer, are able to add some additional value on top of our smarty software. I mean, so integration stuff, installation of the sensors, maybe selection of the gateway of the sensors locally, because it can be different from one country to another. Which means that it's difficult for us to identify in each country where we like to sell the right partners. So Exchange from China, Schneider, help us to address that quickly. We are able to find the right partners much quicker, and develop our business in those countries. So that's the first benefit. The second benefit we've seen so far is that on top of this collaboration with, let's say, commercial collaboration or ecosystem collaboration with Schneider, we can also benefit from them, related to the R&D side, to get some data that have been collected from many equipments, so let's say tons of data, and we know that for working on predictive services, what is key is the data. So working with Schneider help us to address that much quicker, get a lot of data, test some algorithms that have been tested already on Schneider's side, and implement them in our solution to see whether it's relevant or not, and make the right choices. So that's the second benefit, and of course get access to the experts within the product lines. Then the third benefit is, of course, the visibility we can get from Exchange, and I would say all the commercial opportunities we can get from this tool. So a lot of benefits, and for us, I think it's really important to collaborate with Schneider.
I just beginning. Cyril, I wanted to know, how do you choose the partners that can get in the platform? It's an open platform.
So it's an open platform. So it means that everybody can join Schneider Exchange. Of course, for some of the capabilities like publishing an application or publishing a content, so we have a curation mechanism and we have a validation mechanism to ensure the quality of what is contributed to the platform, but it's the definition is that it's an open business platform, so it's open to everyone.
Okay. So you want to add one last thing?
Well, yes, I think bridging to what Patrick was saying, I think your example illustrates pretty well the three core capabilities of Exchange. So Exchange is really the sum of three things. First, collective knowledge. Collective knowledge in the form of forums that could be global, local communities that we are developing that are associated to some topic, and a knowledge base where it's easy to find answers if they have already been identified. So if there is a conversation in a community that leads to a good solution, this solution is validated, this solution fits the knowledge base. So that's the first pillar of Exchange, organizing collective intelligence. The second one, you illustrated data sets, for example, is all the tools and the capabilities we can contribute. And not only Schneider Electric. Schneider Electric can bring those bricks and units of technology to Exchange, but also different partners can do the same. It could be free capabilities or for free capabilities, but for example, or we are willing to provide data sets that has been validated and curated by Schneider Electric so that we help our software partner develop better software, test their software, develop better algorithms because they are based on real data that come from real environments. Or pieces of software, or APIs, or SDKs that could be directly used in solutions to have a better, faster go-to-market. So that's the second dimension, this element of unique bricks of technologies that can be consumed and integrated. And the third one is a digital marketplace. It's a digital marketplace because it's about growing our business collectively. So it's about giving the ability to everybody to transact and to grow their business. And what is unique and differentiating in Exchange is the integrated combination of those three capabilities centered on specific roles and persona and our willingness to start from real business problems. So depending on the nature of the business problem, I can start from one of the points that I mentioned. I can purchase a piece of software, find a partner, or I can ask a question that will lead me to purchase a piece of software. So it can go both directions. And what I want to invite people is to join exchange.se.com, try and see what you can get from that point. We are interested by your contribution, we are interested by the feedback of the community, and this is a great adventure for ourselves and our ecosystem.
Okay, thank you. So let me check if we have some questions. So there are few questions. The first one, I don't know who can answer, but I should and you try to answer. Can I sell my digital offers on Exchange? Cyril, yes, it's for you.
So yes, very straightforward. We have a digital marketplace, as I mentioned. It's a global digital marketplace, so it's accessible globally. You can publish your solution on Exchange, and it can be transacted by anybody that has subscribed to Exchange, and we offer the possibility to address different business models, which is one perpetual license, as well as API consumption or subscription. So we cover the different business models that you will find in the AI and software space. So the answer is definitely yes.
Okay. And there's a second question. Where should I start to connect building? So Cyril or Patrick or
maybe I can start and Nick, you can complete my answer. I think that, the topic is not really connecting buildings. The topic is for which use cases. So they have to identify the use cases they would like to address, the pain points, the services they would like to launch in the buildings. So that's the starting point. So as soon as we have this list, we can work on the technology and we'll find solutions. That's not an issue. But what is really important is to identify these services and use cases they would like to address.
So as I mentioned, roadmap of the services they want to implement, services who will address the pain point or the challenge or the new business they want to address. And as soon as this roadmap of services, we are able to provide a smart building architecture, because the notion of architecture, open architecture is key. And the second point I never mentioned at the beginning is cyber secure architecture. As soon as you implement digital, it's a convergence between OT, IT world, and the cyber security guarantee you the capability to expose and unlock the data, but in a secure mode, because your data is your business. So first, services addressing pain point, and after, as you mentioned, we are able to articulate the best architecture, smart building architecture.
Yeah, and I totally concur on this idea to start from a real business problem. That's really the spirit of Exchange. And I will add to this, start small and scale from that point. Experiment. Don't make it a theoretical conversation that produce presentations and slides. I think try in a building, experiment, understand the feedback of the users, understand the tangible benefits, and then scale.
Okay, and that was the last question. So thank you, Annick, thank you, Patrick, and thank you, Cyril.
Thank you very much.
for
Thank you
your
very much.
questions.
Thank you.
And have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.